Hello everyone. In this video we're going to be covering the toolbar and the basic functions. So that would be the select tool, the move tool, the rotate tool, and the scale tool. In order to demonstrate any of this, we're really going to need an object. So let's go up here, create polygon primitives. See, I'm going to drag this off. I am going to just left click on there. There, that makes us a cube. So now if we go over here in our channel box, if it's not available, hit Command A or Control A. That swaps between the channel box and the attribute editor. So let's go back there. So if we go there, we have all of these different attributes that we can modify: width, height, depth, subdivision, width. So we can always just select one of those and then middle mouse if we don't want to actually enter them manually, because that's always an option too. Now I'm going to delete that. Now if I go up here, if I go to this box over here, this is actually going to create options. So as you can see, 1, 1, 1, 1, this is our default ones. But let's say we wanted to have 5 width divisions, height, and depth divisions. Now I hit create and we make it. So let's delete that. Now I'm going to hit this again. Now you see it has it with all of the settings applied. We don't really want that. So once again, we could delete it, or we could go in here and we could change it there. Let's change it there. But you know what? One thing we'd like to do though, we could go in here and change those back. We could have also just gone to edit and reset settings. So now we have our cube. Let me close that. Oh, once again, Control Shift left click, keyboard shortcut, and our custom shelf. See how it just appeared? So now I can click that and get rid of it. Delete that, and just make it. Boom, there it goes. All right, so we have our cube here. Once again, hold left mouse down. We rotate around the object. Middle mouse pans. Right mouse zooms in and out, all while holding Alt. Okay. So if I hit Q, we're in select mode. If I hit W, we're in move mode. Now we have this little widget that appears. Now we could just grab this thing in the center and move it to wherever we want, but that's not very accurate. I never use that at all, ever. What I do use are these little widgets here. So this allows it to go up and down. As you see, it corresponds down here to the little widget. So that's actually the y-axis that I'm moving it in. The red here is the x-axis. The blue is the z-axis. Another way to think about this relationship is RGB. So RGB, XYZ. So I don't know if that helps. Okay, so let's see, W, we have our move tool. Now let's say we wanted to move it along this grid. What we can do is we can hold X. Now I'm holding X, but if you see it, it's also here, so you can tell which one you're using. So sometimes that's helpful. So now I can just move it along the grid in all of those individual increments. I hit Command Z to undo that. I could also hit C, which is snap to curves, but we don't technically have any curves. You see how we have it up there? But the one that I really do like is V, which is snap to points. Now, there's nothing we really have to snap to, so we're actually going to need to make another box in order to snap it to it. So I just selected that. I'm going to hit Control D, Command D for Apple users, which is to duplicate the object. So I just duplicated it, but since it's in the exact same spot as the other one, we're going to have to move it. So look, I moved it over there. So now left click on that, we selected it. Now I'm going to hold V. Once again, we see it up here, snap to points. Now I'm going to do this. I can snap it to any of those individual points. Let's say we wanted to actually snap it to that. What we could just do is Well, 5.908. We can just type that in. 5.908. Oops. Oh, mistakes were made. There we go. It's right on top of it. So kind of the problem that we're having when we're snapping it is that it's actually snapping to a point. It's actually not snapping to the individual center. Let me delete that one. Let's go back to our original cube. Now we can go to E, hit E on the keyboard, and that corresponds with the rotate tool. Once again, we can just grab any individual axis to constrain the rotation to it, as we can see up in the channel box in the upper right. Now if you hold J while you're moving it, oops, actually I'm going to hit Command Z to undo it. Now I'm going to hold J down, and now I'm going to grab the axis. Now when I move it, it moves it in 15-degree increments, which can be pretty handy. Obviously with 360, 75 degrees, and 45-degree angles. Yeah, it's pretty handy. Alright, so lastly we have our scale tool. And we're going to hit R. And now we can grab any of these axes and just stretch it out. I'm going to hit Command Z to undo it. Now I'm going to grab the center. And now I can grab everything, so it now moves everything proportionally. You can see it happening in the channel box as well. So once again, we can go up here, we can grab all of those. I shift selected those, by the way. Middle mouse button, and then we can drag all that out. Oops. Make it as big or as small as we would like. Alright, one thing else I would like to show you while we're here, I am going to hit the insert key on my keyboard, and what it's going to do is it's going to allow me to change the rotation of this cube. So let me do that. Oops, object mode, oops. Okay, we need to hit E for rotate. Now we hit insert, and now we're able to change the rotation of that cube. So what I'm going to do, I am going to hold down V on the keyboard. I'm going to grab that and I'm going to snap the point, and I moved it out to the outer vertices. So now when we rotate this, it no longer rotates from the center, it's rotating from elsewhere. So let's say you want some planets rotating around each other. This is exactly how something like that would be pulled off. I'm going to undo that until it gets back to the normal. Alright, so there we are. Now, if we want to get it back, we could just undo it. We also have the option to go up here. We have create, select. What we're looking for is center pivot. Center pivot. Boom. Here, let's undo that so we can see what happened. Modify, center pivot. Boom. There it goes. Right there. So I think while we're here, we're going to do a couple of more things. Let's see. We're going to add a few shortcuts. We're going to make one for center pivot for starters. You know what I'd like to do first, though? I'm going to go up here. So look right here. You see how it says polycube? We have scale, modified, everything's changed. We're going to go up here. We are going to modify, let's see, edit, delete by type history. Alright, so I'm going to control shift left click on that. So we got a button for it right there. So I'm going to hit that. See how that got rid of that? It kind of froze it in place. Actually, it didn't do that. It actually deleted the history entirely. Actually, I'm going to hit Command Z. Let's do it again. Gone. Alright, so we have that. Now we're going to do a couple more things while we're here. Okay, so we added our delete history. I would also like to add, let's see, we had our center pivot. We want to do that. We also want to find freeze transformations. So here's freeze transformations and reset transformations. Okay, so I'm going to hit Command Shift left click, Command Shift left click. So we have one shortcut for each of those. And while we're here, let's do our center pivot. All right, so there we are, freeze transformations, reset transformations, and then center pivot. Now let's see what those do really fast. All right, so we know what deleting history does. Let's see. So let's hit freeze transformation. Okay. As you can see, the channel box, see how everything just reset? But it didn't change what we were working on whatsoever. I'm going to hit Command Z to undo that. See how that came back? So let's hit reset transformations. Whoa, everything went to 1, and it's centered at 0, 0, 0. I'm going to hit Command Z, undo that. Reset transformation. Undo. And then once again, hit E. I'm going to hit the insert key. That'll bring up that widget. Now I'm going to hold down. Actually, you know what? Let's just move it off to the side. Put it over there. All right. So now when we rotate this, check this out. Let's see. You can actually control it from there. I'm going to hit Command Z. So let's say we don't want it to rotate like that anymore. We can just go to center pivot, left click, boom, there it goes. Just where it was, just like before. All right, that concludes this tutorial. Thanks you guys.